Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we got the Razer Wolverine V2 Pro for PlayStation 5. You know they didn't want us to have it, so I had to go get it, you heard? Chuckavelli's in the building, come with me. This controller is easily one of the more highly anticipated controllers closing out this year and getting us into 2023, along with the PS5 Dualsense Controller, the Victrix PS5 Controller, and whatever other PS5 controllers is coming out. Your boy Chuckavelli is here to review it. And if you end up liking the review or the other reviews that I've been doing, please subscribe to the channel. It does us a huge favor. Thank you. Now, straight out the box, this controller is beautiful. It's really hard to argue that. But the first thing that you'll notice is that, this ain't the PlayStation 5 design. They went with an asymmetrical layout, which I ain't even mad at, but if you're a huge PlayStation head and you like your thumbsticks side by side, I mean, hey, you may wanna look for something else. But before you do that, please watch the rest of the video because there's a lot of features in this bad boy that you're gonna wanna be privy to. As for the size of the controller, it's about the same size as the PS5 Dualsense Controller. Only thing I would say about the Razer version is that it's a little bit more ergonomic. It really sits in your palms a little better. It also comes with grip on the back that is actually something that you can really hold on to, really find some love and comfort in. So I really do like the touch and feel of this controller. Now time for the buttons. All 30 buttons on this controller are mechanical switches. Well, Razer calls them mechanical, but they're mechanical switches. And basically, it all feels like mouse clicks. And it leads to an extremely delicious ASMR experience. Please join me on this ride. How you doing? I'm telling you, it doesn't get much better than this. And you have the D-pad, which uses an 8-way mechanical switch D-pad, which means that you don't just got up, down, left, right. You got northwest, northwest, and southwest, or you got the corners, you understand? It's great. And for fighting games, this is exactly what you're going to need. Then you have the thumbsticks, which I'm actually really in love with. They're much wider, so it leads for better accuracy and overall better gameplay. And you have some ring cushions around the edge, which will lead to a very smooth experience whenever you're maxing out the range of the sticks. And you get two swappable thumbsticks, one that's short and domed and one that's long and concave. Listen, I wish they would have given us a little bit more. Just those two wasn't really good enough, but basically what they're saying is that one is for aggressive gameplay or, you know, close encounters gameplay, and others is for long gameplay, which, you know, that's really just not how it works, but they tried, and those are the thumbsticks that we have. I mean, hey, take it or leave it. Then we have what I think is the main event, the absolute showstopper of this controller, the trigger stop. If you've been around this channel long enough, you know I love me some good trigger stops. And these trigger stops are just like the Scuff Instinct Pro's trigger stops, which means that they're mechanical switches as well, which means that it's not like what a lot of trigger stops do, which means that it's like a short stop, you know? Instead, it's more like a mouse click. Check it out. This is the full press. And then this is the mechanical switch. I mean, listen, it doesn't get better than that. You gotta check it out. Then you have the back buttons, which, listen, the last time I encountered back buttons like these was on the Razer Wolverine V2 Chroma that I reviewed almost a year ago, actually. And I didn't like them. Thought they were too dead in the center, hard to get to. Listen, I couldn't rock with them. And my opinions haven't changed much here either. I am not a fan of these back buttons. Now, these buttons are a little wider, so they're a little closer to the edge, which is better. But I will say this till I die or until I stop reviewing controllers. There is no better back button than when it goes along the handle. I mean, you just can't beat it. Anyone who has had back buttons on a controller knows that that is in fact the fact. Those are the best back buttons that you can possibly have. Anything towards the middle, I mean, you can make it work. It can work, but it's not it. You know, it's just not it. But I know some people still rock with it. So I ain't here to knock it that much, but it's just not something that I like nor would recommend. Then you also have these top bumpers labeled as M1 and M2, two extra buttons that is really proprietary to the Razer Pro controller market, which is pretty cool, but I don't generally find myself ever using those buttons, so I do find them to be a little extra, though I do like these buttons more than the back buttons because they're easier to reach. So if I can get to it faster and more consistently, then it's a job well done. So I still rock with those more than I rock with the back buttons, but I just feel like Razer didn't get either one of them just right. But I do know that there are gamers out here that use almost all of these buttons, so respect to you. On the back, you also have a wired, wireless, and PS5 and PC option that you must make sure these are set to what you actually want the controller to do. Otherwise, the controller won't work in that particular setting. So if you want wireless, it's not like you could just turn on Bluetooth, take off the wire, and it'll become wireless. No, no, no. You have to set it to wireless for it to be wireless. And if you want to play wired, you have to set it to wired for it to be wired. You don't just plug it in like all other controllers. Same thing for the PS5 and the PC. You can't just hook it up. You have to make sure that it's on the PS5 setting if you want to play PS5, or PC if you want to do PC. Interesting way of going about it, but if you just pay attention, you shouldn't have any problems. Now let's talk about the speed of the controller. And let me tell you this. This thing is the truth. We're talking sub 2 milliseconds. Check it out. I got the controller hooked up right here. Gonna try this out right now. See what we do. We'll see what we do, man. And boom, there you have it. You see, we are averaging sub 2 milliseconds. You see that? Sub 2 milliseconds. 2, 1.41, 1.94, 2.2, we're at 1.40, 0.68 at some points, right? So sub 2 milliseconds. I tried overclocking it so that I can get to that 1 or even under that 1 millisecond. Couldn't seem to do it. If you guys can get it done, by all means. But straight out the box, under 2 milliseconds controller. This is a fast thing. And if you can actually overclock this thing, those of you who are able to get it done, man, if I'm cooking with grease, then you cooking with fire. Like, I don't even know. And let me tell you something. The wireless is no joke too. You could go with either the Bluetooth or you can go with the USB Type A dongle that allows for 2.4 gigahertz connection to PC or PS5 using Razer's Hyperspeed technology. And I'm telling you, that thing did not disappoint. I'm telling you, there's literally no latency. It feels just as quick and just as responsive as if you were wired up. Now, the cable that comes with it is 4 feet, which is pretty short, but that's it. It's just pretty short. I would have loved a longer cord. And the cable is USB Type-C, of course. This is the same cord that would allow you to play on a wired connection and charge your controller. And since we're on that topic, charging the controller from 0 to 100% takes about 3 hours, which isn't too bad, especially when that gives you 28 hours worth of gameplay. So not bad at all, Razer. Thank you for that. Now, the Razer PS5 controller comes with a 1-year warranty, which isn't too bad. Definitely not the worst warranty we've ever seen on this channel. But, you know, come on, guys, say it with me. We want 2 for me and you. Give us 2 for me and you. We're asking for 2-year warranties on these controllers, man. 1 is not bad, but 2 should be the bare minimum industry-wide. Now, a few things to keep in mind here that I literally almost didn't even notice until towards the end of making this video. Guys, there's no mic or speaker on this controller, so understand that if you don't have a headset plugged directly into the controller, you won't be hearing anything directly from the controller, as you know what many PS5 DualSense users are used to at this point. And also understand that all other, you know, PS5 DualSense related features will not be coming with this controller. So no haptic feedback, no DualSense monitoring drawing thing on the touchpad, no adaptive triggers, none of that. Just it's really just a competitive controller. And hey, like, mission accomplished. As far as competition goes, it definitely did its job. I just personally am not a huge fan of the back buttons, but other than that, I like what I got. The controller also comes with a mobile app that at first I was a little apprehensive on, but then when I started using it, it kind of made sense. Instead of having to download some type of PlayStation app and then having to move through all the different apps in order to get your settings right, you can literally just do it from your phone right next to you, which is pretty handy and I can't knock. The device also comes with 4 different profiles for you to switch in and out of, and it even has some RGB that you can edit to your liking, thus affecting the lights on the controller. So overall, not a bad app. I do co-sign the idea. I rock with it. That's Chuckavelli with your review. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Have a great day. Peace, man.